Well, welcome to another day in Life with Sandy. Well, good news. Jim and I are just coming back from the clinic, and we don't have the flu, either influenza A or B. We don't have the RSV, and we don't have COVID. Everything tested negative.
Just a regular old cold.
Just a regular old cold that they said will probably last another week or two. But I feel better that we went. Jim made me go.
I what?
Made me go.
I knew you wanted to go.
Yes. Jim really wanted to go too, but he didn't want to admit it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he did. Well, hello. Today is Wednesday, August. No, it's not August. Today's January 4th. I got a sweatshirt on. It's foggy outside, so it made me think that it's August, but it's not. It's January 4th. But we have birthdays today. Today is Jill Shelton. So, Jill, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jill. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. It's also Mary Torres. Mary. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mary. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. Susan Millard. Susan. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Susan. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. Tanya Smith. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Tanya. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. And last but not least, it's Stephen. I think it's Stephen Marquardt. She's Kathy's WW Journey. That's Kathy's his wife. So it's Stephen's birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Stephen. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. Well, I hope all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of you have a great birthday today. I apologize for my voice because my voice is going in and out. I got up this morning and I don't know if I just overdid it yesterday with taking down the Christmas decorations. I was telling Jim last night that the whole time I was working, taking the things down, getting the bins that I put them in and rearranging my closet and getting rid of stuff that I don't really use this year, that I don't really need because I'm trying to downsize a little bit. I never coughed the whole time. Not one time did I cough. I never felt sluggish or tired or anything. It took me maybe 2 or 3 hours to do it. I was feeling pretty good. And then I closed out my video last night and I started watching TV. And the more I sat there, the more I coughed. And the more I coughed, the more I wanted to cough more. So then I took some cough drops. And it worked for a little bit. I drank a lot of water. And it soothed my throat a little bit. I didn't want to drink too much tea because I had drank a lot of tea during the day. I thought I had honey in my cupboard, but because I was going to put some honey in my tea, but I didn't have any, so I thought I got to get some of that when I go to the store the next time. But so anyway, I went to bed about 1 o'clock, and I slept miserably. For one thing, I kept getting up every 2 hours to go to the bathroom because I drank so much water. And then I would cough so much because laying flat, I build up so much phlegm, sorry, TMI, in my throat. And so I'd have to clear my throat out. And I had awful, it was an awful night. It was awful. And I think on the whole, I woke up about 8:30. Yeah, I woke up about 8:30. Well, I woke up a lot during the night, but I woke up about 8:30. And I was exhausted. I was just so exhausted. And Jim woke up about 9:30, and I went into like a coughing fit that, like Jim always says, I was coughing so hard I would cough up a lung. I think I was going to cough up both lungs. And so then Jim said, are you going to go to the doctor's? And I said, well, I don't know. I probably should, but I don't know. And I said, why? Do you think you should go? And he says, no, I don't think I should go, but, like maybe you want to go. And I go, no, I think I'm okay. I'm not really worried about it. And so he said, okay. So then went into another coughing fit. And he come in the bedroom and he says, go take your shower and then we're going to go to the urgent care. And so I said, okay. So we went over to the urgent care, and when I was signing in to get registered, Jim's getting out all of his insurance information too. And I just looked at him and I go, oh, you're going to do it too? He says, well, I might as well since we're here. I know how Jim works. Jim wanted to go because he wanted to find out, but he didn't want to admit he wanted to go to the doctor. So he threw me under the bus, which was probably just as well because I wouldn't have gone otherwise. I'm going to be honest. I wouldn't have gone otherwise. And so she was filling it out, and I said, well, can we both be in the same room? And she just kind of looked at me, and I said, it'll probably just be quicker, and one of us can sit in the chair, one of us can get in the bed. We'll just take turns. But this way the doctor can get like a 2-for-1. You're still going to bill both of us, so it doesn't really matter, but then he can just get rid of, both of us at the same time. So she said, okay, we can do that. So we waited probably about 15 or 20 minutes before they took us back there. And they were right there doing everything right away. And so they tested us for influenza A and B, I think it was, and the RSV and COVID. And they all came up negative for both of us. And then he listened to both of our chests and to see if we had a developing of pneumonia. He said we didn't have any rattle at all in our chest. So that he says, I can give you an x-ray if you really want it. He says, but I'm telling you, you don't need it. And he says, but it's up to you. And I said, no, I don't think I need it. And he says, I don't think you do either. But, I just wanted to put your mind at ease. And so I said, okay. He says, well, do you want an inhaler? And I go, no, I don't need an inhaler. I'm not having any trouble breathing. So he says, I didn't think you needed one of that either. But, like I always like to ask my patients. And so I said, no. I said, the only reason we really came was because we're old. And we're having a hard time fighting this one off. And I did tell him, I said, well, we had the flu shot in that. And so he says, well, we'll see what the test, what the tests come back. And so then when he came back with the results, he said, see, your flu vaccine worked. And I said, yeah, I probably did. He says, you just have like a common cold. He says, but I called in a prescription for you for some cough medicine that'll break up the mucus in that. And so I said, okay. So when we left, we went over to CVS and they said, no, it's not ready. It'll be ready in an hour and a half. So I said, okay. So we came home, I ate my breakfast. We went back, get up to the counter, and she says, oh, it's just an over-the-counter Robitussin. I have Robitussin at home. I don't like taking medicine. I'm really bad. Really, really bad about taking medicine. But I thought if they gave me a prescription for an antibiotic or a steroid or something, and the doctor, he says, well, you have a cold, was what you have. You just have the common cold. And antibiotics don't cure that. It's just rest, lots of fluid, eating healthy, all that good stuff. He says, and you've had it for 2 weeks. He said, this could last another 2 weeks. I'm hoping it doesn't. He says, but it might last another 2 weeks. He said, but you're just lucky that you don't have any of the other things going around. So I said, yeah. I said, well, we don't go anywhere. We stay home. And he says, well, that's probably good too. He says, it's just the time of year. Everybody got together for the holidays, and so the bugs were passed around. And, families like to share everything, and germs are no different. And I said, well, that's true. So I'm just feeling really tired today, and I really want to take a nap, but then I don't want to go into that coughing fit again. So, and then the reason I don't like taking medications is because I do have a little bit of a high blood pressure where I take medication for it. I was almost off of my pills because I was doing so well on my weight, and my blood pressure was a little elevated when I went in today, but they said that was probably because I was nervous and that I'm sick. Your blood pressure is always a little bit higher when you're sick, and they took it like in my one arm twice. I don't know why. But my oxygen level was good. Like when they put that little thing on your finger, my oxygen level was good. So they weren't worried about my oxygen level. I think it was at 99 or something like that. So he said with the cold, that's pretty good. Obviously 100 would be perfect. And my temperature was 98.2. I never carry a 98.6 ever. I don't know why. I just never have a normal, because I'm not normal. Let's face it, it's because I'm not normal. But I usually hover around 98, 98.2, 98.4. Is my normal blood temperature, or not blood temperature, but my temperature. So that wasn't overly concerning me. And but the reason I don't like taking cough medicine is because they always say don't take it if you have high blood pressure. But he prescribed Robitussin, so I guess it's safe. But somebody had asked. I told you the other day that I don't take any vitamin supplements. I guess I forgot to mention that I do take vitamin D. I take 5,000 milligrams a day for my thyroid, but it's living in where I live, there's not much sun. So in the summer I get enough of my vitamin D from the sun, but in the winter it's kind of hard where I live. So I do take a supplement for that. But I do feel better and stronger that I'm eating a little bit better. I ate my breakfast, but I really wasn't hungry. But I know I have to get some good nutrients in me, so I did eat it. But I do have my taste, and I do have my smell, so, always look at the positive. I know, I always try to look at the positive in things, and sometimes, I was really thinking I wasn't sick, and I was trying to be so positive about it, but my body was not listening to the same message that I was listening to, because the message I was listening to, that was trying to convince them to listen to, was be positive. Be positive that you're not sick. Be positive that you're going to feel better tomorrow, and my body just had other plans. It just didn't want to listen to the positivity that I was trying to throw out there. But anyway, I'm just kind of reflecting a lot. Being sick kind of makes me reflect on my past year. Not eating healthy is one of the reasons I got sick. Being around people that are sick, obviously that doesn't help. But when I ate healthier, I could be around sick people and not get sick. I have not been this sick since I worked, and I haven't worked since 2013 when I was around people all the time. So it has a lot to do, but I can't dwell on the past. I mean, I can learn from the past. You always have to learn from the past, but you can't dwell on the past. I think one of my major issues, my major problems was for the whole year, I kept dwelling on the fact that I had lost 96 pounds. I kept dwelling on that. And the more I dwelled on it, the more I was disappointed in myself, and the more discouraged I became, and the more weight I gained, because I kept thinking, oh, well, now you're 20 pounds away from that. Now you're 30 pounds away from that. Now you're 40 pounds away from that. And now I'm almost 50 pounds away from that. I'm not at 50 yet, but I'm getting pretty close. And it was just a snap back into reality that you can only look in the past. There's things that you do in the past. If I could go back in the past and change some things in my life, obviously everybody says if I could go back and start my life all over, I would make better choices. I would do different things. But then your life wouldn't be your life. It would be a completely different life. I could have chosen, I would have married Jim no matter what, but I could have chosen to wait a little bit longer. I wouldn't have had Jimmy. I got married in July of 71, and I had Jimmy in October of 72. Now, if I would have waited, who's to say that maybe Jimmy wouldn't have come along? It just happened at that one particular moment that, everything happened, and kaboom, the combustion started. And so I just know that there's a purpose in my life, and going back to change one thing is, it's not going to change my present. It's right now, it would change my present, but is it really something I really want to change? I learned from my mistakes. I've made a lot of mistakes in my life. I've made a lot. And but from each mistake I made, I learned something, and I learned a little bit more about myself. At one point in my life, I was afraid to leave my house. I would never leave my house. I could never be in a room by myself, let alone leave the house. We had a little convenience store that was just like 2 houses down. We lived on we lived like the first house on the block, but right next to us was the school, and then the next to the school was a store, like a little party store. I could never walk to that party store by myself, which was a matter of 500 feet, maybe 1,000 feet. I could not walk that. I could not do that unless somebody was with me. I struggled. I never drove anywhere. When my kids were like in a carpool, my sister Mary was the designated driver when it was my turn to drive in the carpool. I wasted so much of my life trapped in my house, trapped in my feelings, and gaining all my weight. But it took me a while to overcome that, but I think it's one of my proudest achievements in my life, other than my family. That's always going to be I'm going to be proud of. But just the fact that I overcame that without medication. I overcame that just on my own through prayer and just working really hard through the issues and working through the problems. And I know that right now I'm at that same stage in my life where I have to overcome the fact that I've put so much weight on, and that I'm struggling. I really am struggling. But there's something about the start of this year that really made me think, I don't want to live in my past anymore. I want to live for today. And I want to look forward to the future. And I'm not going to have a really bright future if I keep dwelling on the past and beating myself up for all the mistakes I've made in my past, especially my weight. I've gained 35 pounds in 2 years. I could spend the rest of this year beating myself up for the fact that I gained 35 pounds. My first goal this year is to lose at least 35 pounds from 2021. Once I lose that, then I'm going to work on losing 2022, 35 pounds. Am I going to lose 70 pounds this year? Probably not. Probably not. But am I going to lose 35 pounds this year? Yes, I'm definitely going to lose 35 pounds this year. I'm not saying that I have to lose a certain amount of weight each week to reach that goal. I've just set the goal that before next year rolls around, I'm going to lose the 35 pounds that I gained in 2021. And then if I still have some weight to lose, then 2024, I'll work on the weight that I gained in 2022, because I'm not going to gain any weight in 2023. I'm just not. I just know that. And I just think that living in the present, knowing that I can do it, knowing I will do it, and it's going to be done. It really is going to be done. And I know that you guys are going to do it too. And I thank you so much for all your support and your encouragement. I do find that showing my food is really making a difference, because I always think, maybe I'll just have an extra slice of toast. No, I'm writing it in a book. I'm writing it in my WW app. I'm being really conscious of what I'm eating. This week I'm kind of making myself eat because I really don't feel like eating. But I don't want my body to go into shutdown mode, because if, like, you can't not eat, because then your body thinks, oh, wait a minute, we better store all this fat in case she needs it later on. I want to have my metabolism working. And the more my metabolism's working, the more warriors I have in my cells to fight off this infection that I have going on. So anyway, like I said, I've already eaten my breakfast. I'm going to plan on having, I think I would plan for my lunch, which I'm not going to have. I'm going to have lunch, but I had planned on some pita crackers, some of my cheese dip with some kind of vegetable and a pudding, which was going to be 7 points. But instead, I'm going to have the other half of my leftover stir fry that I had from yesterday. And I might have a pudding still, so that would put me at 5 points. I'm 2 points. 2 points less than what I wanted. And then I think, what did I have for dinner? I forgot what I had for dinner. Oh, I was going to have chicken, potato, and sour cream. I'm going to have a chicken on a salad, and then some cottage cheese instead of the potato. So I think that the menu works for me somewhat, that I can at least have a guideline of how many points I have to work with that day. I didn't necessarily stick to it completely, but I'm going to try each week. So, okay, that's it for now. I got to drink some more water. And then I did watch, while I was at in the urgent care, I did watch Kim at A Girl on Her Phone. And she's right. Sometimes you just got to live life. And I think that's what I need to be doing this year, is living my life and not dwelling on my past life, but living the life that I have right now and what's right in front of me, what I can live for now. And then I watched Joan's Point of Plate, who I always get inspiration from. And and those are the only 2 ones that popped up while I was there. So I'm got to check to see if anybody else's videos popped up in the meantime. So, all right, let me show you what I had for breakfast, and I'll show you my lunch and dinner, and then I'll check with you at the end of the day. Well, a colorful breakfast, if I do say so myself. Today is Wednesday, January 4th. My quote is, starting today, I need to forget what happened, appreciate what I have in my life, and look forward to the coming year. It's a 5-point breakfast, 0 for my egg, also for my berries, banana, and my tea. 2 points for my Simply Light orange juice, 2 points for my slice of toast, and 1 point for a tablespoon of guacamole. So it's a 5-point breakfast. Okay, for lunch, I'm going to have my leftover stir fry and a small little can. I think it's 7 ounces. Is it 7 ounces? Yeah, 7.5 ounces of Sierra Mist. So it is a 7-point dinner. 4 points for the Sierra Mist and 3 points for the stir fry. I just needed something a little for my throat. I didn't have any more Diet Pop, so I'm kind of sick of water. Okay, I'm going to have a salad with some cottage cheese and pineapple and a cranberry, mango, whatever, drink. So 0 points. And I'm going to have the pudding later on for a snack later on, but I thought I'd show you now. It's a 14-point dinner, 0 for my salad, my chicken, and the pineapple. Jim is very loud because he's talking on the phone, and he thinks people can't hear him unless he screams. 3 points for my cottage cheese, 3 points for my feta cheese, 2 points for my pudding, and 6 points for my dressing. I went 2 points over, but I'm fine with that. Well, Jim made fun of my salad, said it was huge, and I did eat the whole thing. I was hungry, I guess. I didn't think I'd be hungry. So I got a lot of vitamins in that salad. Sorry, I got a little piece of chicken left for my last bite of my chicken salad. When Jim's on the phone, he thinks that everybody on the other end is deaf. He thinks he's got to scream like he's got to have a microphone or something. It's so annoying. I can hear him all the way in the other room sometimes. I can hear the conversation. It's like, you don't have to scream, Jim. Everybody can hear you. But he seems to think everybody has to hear him scream. So, but that's going to do it for tonight. I'm feeling a little bit better. I'm going to take some of that Robitussin before I go to bed. And hopefully that'll help me sleep. Maybe it'll knock me out. And I'll sleep a little bit better. And tomorrow will be a new day. So if you're new to my channel, please subscribe, leave a comment, hit the like button, share if you think somebody might like to see it. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Remember, don't look back, look forward, and live in the present.